Before we wrap up, let's have some fun. I've got a quick Islamic riddle for you all. Comment your answer below, and I'll shout out the first 3 correct responders in my next video. Ready? Here we go. Riddle number 1. I mentioned in the Quran a creature so small, Allah used me to teach a lesson to all. I challenged a giant with strength beyond me. Who am I? Hint, Surah Al-Baqarah tells my story. Pause for suspense, then encourage participation. Drop your guesses in the comments and don't Google it. Let's see who's truly sharp. Bonus challenge for eager learners. Dear viewers, want another shot at winning? Here's a rapid-fire question. Which prophet fasted for 40 days and spoke to Allah directly? First 5 correct answers get their channel name featured in my next video. Speed matters. Type number Dean quiz with your answer so I can spot you easily. So let's start our video. The captivating nature of cats. There's something captivating about cats that goes beyond their soft fur or graceful movements. It's a feeling, an almost magnetic pull, that many people experience when in the presence of a cat. It's not uncommon for someone who never imagined owning a cat to suddenly find themselves enchanted by one, perhaps while watching a video or crossing paths with a stray on the street. There's a quiet wisdom in their gaze, a sense of knowing that feels deeply personal. Cats don't chase attention like other animals might. Instead, they watch, they wait, and when they approach, it's with an air of dignity that suggests they've chosen you, rather than the other way around. Cats in Islamic tradition, a spiritual connection. In Islamic tradition, this magnetic quality isn't merely seen as charming, it's seen as meaningful. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, recognized the special nature of cats and treated them with immense respect. His compassion toward them wasn't just rooted in kindness, it was a reflection of divine awareness, a recognition of the role they play in the spiritual and physical realms. It's no wonder that over the centuries, cats have been revered in Muslim households, not just as pets, but as pure companions. Their presence brings a sense of calm, their behavior invites reflection, and their silent companionship seems to soothe the soul. Even before science could study animal behavior, the Prophet modeled a way of life that included empathy for all living beings. Among those beings, cats were given a place of honor. They were allowed in homes and even in mosques. Their purity was acknowledged not just in metaphor, but in Islamic law. The Prophet taught that cats are not impure and thus should not be shunned or driven away. This might seem like a simple ruling, but it's filled with spiritual wisdom. In a world where people often seek divine connection through rituals, the Prophet showed that compassion itself is a path to nearness with God. A lesson in mercy, the Prophet and the cat. There's a famous narration where the Prophet, peace be upon him, shared water with a cat. He allowed the cat to drink first from his ablution bowl, and when asked why, he explained that cats are clean creatures. That simple act, waiting patiently for a small animal to finish drinking, embodied a spiritual truth that transcends religious boundaries. It taught his followers that love, mercy, and patience are not limited to human interactions. They extend to the entire creation. The Prophet's deep reverence for cats wasn't theoretical. It was expressed through his actions. He had a beloved cat named Muezza, who would often sit on his lap or rest near him during moments of reflection. On one occasion, as Muezza slept peacefully on the Prophet's cloak, he needed to get up. Rather than disturb her, he gently cut the piece of cloth upon which she lay. That decision, made in a quiet moment, speaks volumes. It tells us that consideration and compassion should never be compromised, not even for convenience. The Prophet's example created a legacy. His companions observed his kindness toward cats and carried forward this tradition of mercy, ensuring that these graceful creatures would always hold a special place in the hearts of believers. A legacy of compassion, cats in Islamic culture. His actions inspired his companions, who began treating cats with the same respect. This spiritual framework of kindness extended into Islamic culture, where cats were not just tolerated, they were welcomed. Even in later centuries, scholars and mystics kept cats as part of their lives, often noting the peace that seemed to follow these creatures wherever they went. But why cats? What is it about them that has made them such revered companions in the Islamic world? Perhaps it lies in their quiet nature. The way they move without disturbing the world around them, or the way they seem to perceive something hidden from human eyes. Many who live with cats share strange stories. A cat staring intently at an empty corner, behaving protectively, when no visible threat is present, or refusing to enter certain spaces. These accounts might be dismissed as superstition, but in Islamic tradition, they are taken seriously. It is believed that cats possess a unique sensitivity to the unseen. Realities affirmed in the Quran and hadith, such as the world of jinn and angels. A cat's sudden flight, fixed gaze into emptiness, or reluctance to approach a particular area may not be random. Many interpret these behaviors as responses to spiritual presences only they can detect. Guardians of the unseen. According to Islamic narratives, cats were created shortly after Prophet Adam, peace be upon him, alongside the snake. Yet unlike the snake, often viewed with caution, cats have always been regarded as protectors. Some traditions even hold that they serve as guardians in the spiritual realm. Many believe a cat resting near them offers not just emotional comfort, but also unseen protection, especially during prayer or sleep. This belief stems from the Prophet's, peace be upon him, teachings. He emphasized the purity of cats, granting them a special status. In an era where ritual purification was paramount, permitting an animal in sacred spaces was significant. Yet cats were the exception. Their cleanliness was not merely physical, it was spiritual. They were deemed free from najas, impurity, and their presence was considered a blessing rather than a disturbance. Cats and acts of worship. Those who share their homes with cats often notice peculiar behaviors during prayer. A cat might sit beside them, curl up nearby, or even step onto their prayer mat. While some see this as playful interference, others perceive deeper meaning. Are cats drawn to worship? Do they sense the shift in energy when a believer connects with the divine? Stories abound of cats acting protectively, shielding children, alerting owners to unseen dangers, or displaying unusual vigilance during vulnerable moments. These are not mere coincidences, but part of an enduring belief that cats are attuned to dimensions beyond human perception. The Prophet's enduring example. Even during life's most intense moments, the Prophet, peace be upon him, demonstrated unwavering compassion for cats. His famous companion, Muezza, was more than a pet. She was a beloved confidant. When she slept on his cloak, he chose to cut the fabric rather than disturb her rest. This act, small yet profound, encapsulates a timeless lesson. Mercy must never yield to convenience. The Prophet's legacy transformed how Muslims viewed animals, not as mere creatures, but as beings with purpose and spiritual significance. Cats, with their enigmatic presence, became symbols of divine wisdom, reminders that kindness bridges the seen and unseen worlds. A sacred encounter at Uhud. The Prophet's lesson in mercy. Even during the intense military expedition to Uhud, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, did not overlook the significance of cats. As the army advanced, they came across a mother cat nursing her kittens. Many might have passed by without a second thought, but the Prophet recognized this as a sacred act of motherhood. He immediately ordered the army to alter its course to avoid disturbing her. Not only that, but he assigned a guard to watch over the cat and her babies until they could safely move on. After the expedition, the Prophet, peace be upon him, made a remarkable decree. The first soldier to receive one of the kittens would become its guardian. One of those kittens ended up in his own care. He named her Mu'a, and from that moment, she became a living symbol of divine mercy. Her presence in the Prophet's household was not merely sentimental, it was spiritual. She embodied a profound connection between the human and animal worlds, a bond built on mutual trust and reverence. Beyond companionship, cats as spiritual guides. Through stories like these, we learn more than just historical facts. We learn about ourselves. The way the Prophet, peace be upon him, interacted with animals reflects a divine wisdom. Every being has a purpose, a role, and a soul worthy of respect. In honoring cats, he taught us to slow down and observe the sacred in everyday life. Show mercy even in moments of urgency. Recognize that creation is interconnected, and in return, cats offer us gifts we're still unraveling. A window into the unseen, their sensitivity to spiritual realms. A reminder of the divine in the mundane. A companionship that transcends the physical. The elevated status of cats in Islam. Whether viewed as spiritual protectors, graceful companions, or beloved pets, one truth is undeniable. Cats hold a unique and honored place in Islamic tradition. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized this through his teachings. Cats are not impure. They are permitted in homes and even prayer spaces, a profound exception in a faith that prioritizes ritual purity. They roam freely by divine permission. Their presence is not just tolerated, but welcomed, a testament to their spiritual cleanliness. Their grace is more than physical. It mirrors qualities of wisdom, patience, and quiet strength revered in Islamic spirituality. A living legacy. In many Islamic cultures, cats are still seen as guardians of the home, believed to ward off unseen harm, companions in worship, often drawn to those in prayer, symbols of purity, their behavior studied for subtle spiritual signs. The Prophet's bond with Muezza was not an isolated act of kindness, it was a model for humanity. In a world that often rushes past the vulnerable, his example calls us to pause, protect, and cherish all of creation. As we learn more about cats in Islamic tradition, we realize they are not just animals to care for, they are beings that, in their quiet way, help us reconnect with the divine. Cats, guardians of the unseen and symbols of sacred balance. A silent presence in sacred spaces. Throughout Islamic history, cats have come to embody secrecy, protection, and inner peace. They were guardians of libraries, their quiet vigilance warding off rodents that threatened precious manuscripts. Companions of scholars, their calm presence fostering focus during long hours of study. Witnesses to the prayers of mystics, their stillness reflecting the tranquility of devotion. In a world of chaos, their poised movements, soft yet deliberate, mirror the ideal state of a believer, moving through life with purpose, not disturbance. Between worlds, cats in the unseen, an ancient belief revisited. There's an enduring idea that cats exist closer to what some call the fourth dimension, a realm just beyond human perception. While only Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala, knows the full truth of the unseen, cats' behavior invites wonder. Their sudden fixation on empty corners, as if tracking invisible movement. Their unexplained reactions, hissing, pouncing, or fleeing from nothing visible. Their protective postures around vulnerable family members, especially children. Islamic perspectives on the unseen. Many Muslim households accept that cats may sense or interact with jinn, beings described in the Quran. Anecdotes abound. A cat refusing to enter a room later associated with unease. A feline's alertness preceding an unseen danger, e.g. a gas leak, intruder, or spiritual disturbance. Their tendency to cleanse spaces by settling where negative energy lingers. The Prophet, peace be upon him, warned against superstition, but he also affirmed the reality of the unseen. Cats' behaviors remind us that creation is vaster than our senses perceive. Lessons from Hadith. Mercy as a divine measure. A stark warning. A well-known hadith recounts a woman condemned to hell for imprisoning a cat, neither feeding it nor allowing it to hunt. This underscores a profound truth. Cruelty to animals is a grave sin in Islam, a promise of reward. Conversely, the Prophet shared stories of forgiveness earned through kindness. A prostitute entered paradise for giving water to a thirsty dog. A man was pardoned for his sins after rescuing a stranded animal. If such mercy extends to all creatures, how much more does it apply to cats? Beloved by the Prophet, pure in Islamic law, and woven into the fabric of our faith. Echoes in history, cats as divine symbols. Ancient Egypt's sacred guardians. Long before Islam, cats were revered, worshipped as incarnations of Bastet, goddess of protection. Mummified alongside pharaohs, their deaths mourned with elaborate rites. Legally safeguarded, harming one carried the death penalty. When a house burned, Egyptians saved cats before possessions, a testament to their sacred status. A symbolic legacy. One legend claims household candles extinguished spontaneously when a cat died, a poetic tribute to a light departed. Whether factual or metaphorical, such tales reveal humanity's timeless awe for these creatures. Conclusion: cats as living lessons. In Islam and beyond, cats transcend the role of pets. They are physical reminders of Allah's unseen creations, teachers of patience, observation, and mercy, bridge between the mundane and the mystical. The Prophet's love for them was not incidental. It was a divine blueprint for coexisting with creation, where even the smallest beings reflect the Creator's wisdom. To care for a cat is to honor a tradition of reverence. To study their ways is to glimpse the hidden layers of existence. The healing purr, where science and spirituality meet more than just contentment. Cats, with their mysterious aura and quiet strength, have always been recognized as more than mere animals. They are bridges between worlds, between silence and sound, between the seen and the unseen. Among their most fascinating traits is their purring. To the casual observer, it's simply a sign of contentment. But science now reveals that a cat's purr, vibrating between 20 to 140 hertz, holds therapeutic power. Stimulates bone regeneration. Frequencies near 25 to 50 hertz aid fracture healing. Reduces inflammation and promotes tissue repair. Lowers stress hormones, easing anxiety and even reducing heart disease risk. For centuries, this was intuitive wisdom. People felt better with a cat nearby, curled on their chest or beside them in sleep. Today, research confirms what ancient cultures sensed: sound as medicine, vibration as divine mercy. Nikola Tesla once said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." This mirrors Islamic tradition, where sound carries profound meaning. The Quran's recitation alters heart rhythms and brainwaves, harmonizing body and soul. Adhan, called a prayer, uses melodic vibration to stir spiritual awakening. Could a cat's purr, a gentle, rhythmic hum, also be a God-given healing gift, a mercy woven into their very being? Ancient civilizations knew this well. Egyptian priests used sacred chants, like cat's purrs, in healing temples. Sufis practiced dhikr, remembrance through breath and sound, to transcend the physical. In this light, a purring cat becomes more than a pet. It's a living resonator, guiding us back to stillness, much like the tasbih, prayer beads, guides the mind to remembrance. A moment of shared serenity. Picture this. After a stressful day, a cat approaches. It rubs against your leg, curls close, and begins to purr. Suddenly, your heart rate slows, your breathing deepens, your mind quiets. This isn't just affection, it's bioenergetic harmony. The cat, consciously or not, reminds you, return to your rhythm, reconnect to peace. The responsibility of reciprocity. Yet this gift demands balance. Islam teaches: 1. Compassion with caution. O love cats, but avoid excessive physical contact during ritual purity. Wudu, salah. O the Prophet praised their cleanliness but upheld hygiene standards. 2. Care with boundaries, provide shelter and food. Neglect is sinful. Recall the woman punished for starving a cat. O vaccinate and deworm them. Their health affects yours. 3. Respect their nature and never confine or declaw. Their freedom is a right, not a privilege. O observe their cues. A cat's autonomy is part of its dignity. Conclusion: Guardians of body and soul, cats are both earthly and enigmatic. Their purrs heal bones and hearts. Their presence wards off unseen unrest. Their independence teaches us humility. In caring for them, we honor a prophetic legacy of mercy while embracing modern wisdom. As the Quran says, there is not an animal on earth, nor a bird that flies on its wings, but they are communities like you. 638. Let their purrs remind us, the universe vibrates with divine wisdom, even in the smallest creatures.